You've seen this happen, right? A company rolls out this big, bold new strategy, huge goals for growth, for innovation. But then, back on the ground, nothing really seems to change. Well, that gap, that disconnect between the big vision and the daily work, that's where even the best plans go to fail. So today, we're going to dig into how modern platforms are specifically built to bridge that exact gap, connecting the boardroom directly to the front lines. All right, so here's our game plan for today. First, we're really going to unpack what that strategy delivery gap actually looks and feels like. Then, we'll see how a platform can act as a bridge. We'll dive into the nitty-gritty of defining your plan, actually getting the work done, and then the really tough part, balancing all your resources. Finally, we'll see how it all comes together to create what's called a connected enterprise. Sound good? Let's jump in.
So let's start with the problem itself. And honestly, this is a massive headache for pretty much every project management office or PMO out there. It's that constant battle between the perfect plan you have on paper and the messy, chaotic reality of the day-to-day, where everything just feels like it's being pulled in a million different directions.
It really does feel like you're standing on opposite sides of a giant canyon, doesn't it? Over here, you've got your ambitious strategy, the big mission, those exciting growth goals. And way over on the other side is the harsh reality of delivery. Missed deadlines, budgets that are just blowing up, and a team that is completely and utterly burned out. And this isn't just about slowing down. It's how you lose trust, and it's how you lose credibility.
So why does this keep happening? Well, it usually comes down to a few classic blind spots. You ever get that feeling that you're just not sure if you even have enough people to do all the work? Or maybe you feel like you're constantly fighting fires instead of focusing on what's actually important? That's what we're talking about. And these are the exact problems a modern project management platform is designed to solve.
So how in the world do we build a bridge over that canyon? This is where a PPM, or Portfolio and Project Management, platform comes into play. The entire idea is to create a direct, visible link from the decisions being made in the boardroom right down to the actual tasks your teams are working on today.
Now, here is the absolute key takeaway. A tool like this is not just some glorified to-do list for your projects. Not at all. It's about creating a living, breathing planning cycle. It's about making sure that every single dollar you spend and every person you assign is focused on the right things, the projects that will actually move the needle on your biggest corporate goals. And what's really cool is how you can visualize this process. Just think of it like a giant funnel. At the very top, you have this flood of ideas and requests coming in from all over the organization. The system helps you vet and narrow all that down into concrete plans, which are then delivered by your teams. And it doesn't matter what methodology they use, agile, waterfall, you name it.
Okay, so let's get practical. How do you take some lofty mission statement and turn it into actual, tangible work inside the system? This is really where the rubber meets the road.
I love this slide because it shows so clearly how everything just cascades down. You start with that big kind of fuzzy mission at the top. Let's say it's grow market share. That gets focused into a clear objective, like launch in a new region. That objective is driven by a specific strategy, and that strategy is finally executed by a real project, like a new digital ad campaign. See that? Everything is connected.
And the real power here is that this isn't just some static document that sits in a folder somewhere. The platform lets you look at your strategy through totally different lenses. So your CFO can pull up a financial forecast, while a program manager can see a visual roadmap with all the key milestones. It's the same data, just presented in a way that's most useful for different people in different roles.
So we've figured out the what and the why. Now it is time for the how and the who. This is all about getting down to business, building a realistic schedule that actually works, and getting the right people assigned to the right tasks. It really all starts with breaking down the work. You take a massive project and you just chop it up into smaller, more manageable tasks. You figure out how long each one will probably take, how they all connect to each other, and most importantly, which ones are absolutely critical to finish on time. This process creates the master blueprint for your entire project. Now, here's a really important distinction the system makes. First, you can define a requirement. That just means you know you need a certain role, like, hey, we need a business analyst for this. Then later, you can make an allocation, which is assigning a specific person, a named individual like Liz Carter, to actually do the work. This two-step process allows for way better long-term forecasting of the skills you're going to need. And this, of course, brings us to the real world, doesn't it? It's the ultimate balancing act. You've got these huge, ambitious plans, but you also have a limited budget, and there are only so many hours in the day for your team. This right here is where strategies either live
or die.
You know, the really smart way to handle this is to treat all your projects like an investment portfolio. Each potential project gets a score based on things like how much it contributes to your strategy, what the risks are. You get the idea. This gives you a clear, objective way to decide what gets the green light, instead of just going with gut feelings.
Okay, so you've approved all the high-value projects, the budget is there, everything looks absolutely perfect on paper. But then you have to ask the one question that so often gets forgotten until it is way, way too late. And this is where the system throws up a massive red flag. I mean, the bar chart just makes it painfully clear. While your budget might be fine, the demand on your teams is at 125% of their actual capacity. You simply do not have enough people hours to deliver on everything you've approved. This is the hidden trap that gets so many organizations.
But the system doesn't just tell you there's a problem. It actually helps you solve it. You can run all these what-if scenarios. What if we delay this less critical project by a month? What happens if we swap out this resource for someone else who has more time? You can see the impact of every single decision instantly, before you commit to it.
And when you put all of these pieces together, the strategy, the planning, the execution, the resource balancing, you start to build something incredibly powerful. A truly connected enterprise. It's a place where everyone, from the very top all the way down, is working from the exact same playbook.
And this isn't a tool for just one department. No way. Executives are in there tracking strategic progress. The PMO is using it to govern the whole portfolio. Project managers are building schedules, resource managers are staffing projects, and team members can see exactly what they need to work on. Everyone is in the same system, looking at the same real-time data. And that's really what this is all about. It's about breaking down those walls and silos between departments and creating a crystal clear line of sight from the big idea all the way to the finished product. It's not just about connecting strategy to work, it's about connecting it for real, tangible results. So as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with this one question to think about for your own organization. How strong is that connection between your company's biggest goals and what your teams are actually doing day to day? Because bridging that gap, well, it isn't just about better spreadsheets or timelines. It's about making sure that all the hard work everyone is putting in is actually the work that matters most.